Have you ever opened the Bible and wondered something like this? Why are there so many books in here? Or what does all of this even mean? And why are there so many crazy names like Obadiah and Haggai and Shubbat? Wait, he's in a different story. Anyway, today we're going to zoom out and look at the big story of the Old Testament. Think of it like watching the trailer for a really long movie. We can't see every scene, but we can understand the whole story. And the Old Testament is a really big story. The story begins at the very beginning. God creates the world. Mountains, oceans, animals, stars, trees, everything. And God says it is very good. Then God creates humans, Adam and Eve, and gives them a special job. They're supposed to care for the world like kings and queens of God's creation. God wants them to trust His wisdom and help the world flourish. But something goes wrong. A mysterious snake shows up and convinces the humans that they shouldn't trust God. Instead, they want to decide for themselves what is right and wrong. And because of that, everything begins to break. The world becomes filled with selfishness, violence, and sadness. Humans are separated from the life God wanted for them. But right away, God makes a promise. One day, a new human will come who will defeat evil and make things right again. And that promise becomes the thread that runs through the entire Old Testament. Here's something to listen for in the story. We're looking for a rescuer. As we go through the story, keep asking, is this the rescuer God promised? Next, God chooses a man named Abraham and his wife, Sarah. God tells them something amazing. He's going to bless the whole world through them. Through Abraham's family, God plans to fix what went wrong in the garden. Abraham's family grows into a big group of people called Israel. But here's the problem. They're just like the rest of us. They lie, they argue, they make bad choices. Sometimes they even hurt each other. But even though they fail again and again, God keeps His promise. He stays committed to them. Eventually, this family ends up as slaves in Egypt. That's when God raises up a leader named Moses. Moses leads the people out of slavery and brings them to a mountain where God makes a special agreement with them called a covenant. God gives them instructions about how to live as His people. These instructions were meant to help them become the kind of people who showed the world what God was like. Let me ask you something. Do people always make the right choices? Nope. Did Israel always obey God? Nope again. And because of that, the story keeps going. Eventually, the Israelites are led by a series of kings. One of the most famous kings is David. This is when God makes another promise. One day, a king from his family will come and rule in a good and right way forever and ever. But most of Israel's kings aren't good. They worship idols. They lead the people in the wrong direction, and the nation of Israel slowly falls apart. Eventually, the people are conquered and taken away to a land called Babylon. It looks like the story is over, but it isn't. God sends prophets. The prophets warn the people about their sin, but they also bring hope. They say that one day God will rescue His people, give them new hearts, send a new king from David's family, and bring blessing to the whole world. The final books of the Old Testament include songs, prayers, wisdom, and stories that help God's people learn how to trust Him while they wait. Books like Psalms teach them how to pray. Books like Proverbs teach them how to live wisely. And books like Daniel remind them that even when life looks bad, God is still in control. And all these books keep pointing forward to the same hope. One day, the promised rescuer will come. A new human, a new king, someone who will defeat evil and restore God's good world. So now the big question is, who is the rescuer? Who is the king that God promised? That's right, it's Jesus. The Old Testament is one big story pointing forward, waiting, hoping, looking for the rescuer. And the next part of the Bible, the New Testament, begins by telling us that Jesus is the one God promised. And that means every story in the Old Testament is pointing forward to Jesus, and the story still isn't over.